Hello, Saggies. It's Haley with Tarot from Beyond here to complete your September 2018 general reading. There's a theme this month that is as strong as Hercules. And your oracle card is love, okay? And this card talks about the different facets of love. It reminds us that love is multifaceted, right? There's that trusting love that our children have for us. There's that unconditional love that we have for our children. There's love that we have in relationships, in intimate relationships. There's love that we have for friends. There's the love that we have with, what we do. And there's the love that we feel when, we're acknowledged for what we've done for someone. Or, everybody has their own version of love as well. Love comes in a lot of different forms. Sometimes people think that they're loving you, but their perception of love is completely different than your perception of love. And when that happens, you don't feel loved, even though this other person is really feeling like in their mind, like they're loving you, the right way. But the way that they were taught to love is a little on the incorrect side, That's common in relationships. This reminds us that there are several different forms of love, and understanding that and understanding and being able to perceive love according to what it is and how it's being portrayed by both you and the individual that you may be loving intimately or in whatever situation. It seems like love is on your mind, Saggies, and that's why you pulled this oracle card. This card also speaks about sometimes there are relationships that we are in with people. We really love these people, but we know that, the time is up in the relationship, and how difficult it is to break away from love when we know that the relationship has become toxic for whatever reason. It's not an easy thing to do. It requires a lot of courage to walk away from, say, a 15-year relationship, let's say, say you've been with somebody for a really long time and the ship has been sinking for a really long time and you stayed, with the hopes that things would get better, but they never did. And it takes a brave move to say, you know what? I'm worth more than what I'm seeing in this relationship. When you get to the point where you're brave enough to do that, you know what happens? You're basically saying, I know my worth, and I know I'm worth more than what you're giving me back. I'm giving you love, but what you're giving me is your version of love, and whatever that version is, it's like creating, feelings in me that make me want to respond negatively. So kudos to you who may be in relationships with people that you love, you love these people, but you know that the relationship is no longer healthy. It's no longer serving you. Its time has come and gone. You've learned everything that you can in the relationship. You know everything you need to know about this person already, and they're not going to change. And it's like, okay, well, it takes bravery. It really does to walk away, because there are a lot of feelings associated with, well, this person wasn't all bad, and if I walk away, then they won't be here to do, this or that. What about all the other things that encompass love that they're not doing? Got to consider that too. And you can't let love be that double-edged sword that keeps you in a situation that you don't belong in and that you've outgrown. Because I'm noticing, especially with the readings that I've been doing lately, is that when it comes to loving other people, we're really good at that. We're really good at loving people despite their problems and their baggage and the shit they bring to the table. But then when it comes to loving ourselves despite our own shit, we're not that good at that. We got to get better at loving ourselves, because when we love ourselves, we attract people who love us back. Okay? Sometimes our hearts can be stuck with the wrong person, and when that happens, even after the relationship has ended and your heart is still in yesterday, your heart is still in yesterday's relationship. What tends to happen is Mr. Right or Mrs. Right is right there, but you can't even recognize them because your heart is still with Mr. or Mrs. Wrong from yesterday. Okay? See, your oracle card is love. It's just reminding you that love is just as multifaceted as you are. And the polar opposite of love is fear. When you love someone, you fear losing them. And that's natural. And we all know that everything requires balance, right? So when you love someone and you fear, it's natural to fear losing something that you love. But if there's too much love, right, and not enough, caution or fear with regards to losing them, love then becomes that double-edged sword that keeps you in a situation that you don't belong in, that you've outgrown. And if there's too much fear, you know what I mean, and it's not matching up with the love, then you can easily become impulsive and you can easily become obsessive over this person. And, that fear begins to override, the way the relationship goes, because things are not balanced. Everything has to be balanced. Everything has its polar opposite, and it's necessary. Okay, it's called polarization. And polarization is how we create. Okay, and I'm going to teach you what polarization means, and I'm going to teach you the law of attraction, and I'm going to teach you how we create through your reading. Okay, so your oracle card is love, my loves. So Saggies, it looks like this month you guys are going to be dealing with some loving relationships. Either you're going to come to the conclusion that it's healthy and it's viable and that you're going to stay in it and it's worth fighting for. And some of you are going to realize that the relationships that you are in with somebody that you love, whether it be a friend or a spouse or whatever the case may be, you're going to find that maybe you've outgrown it and you're going to have to take that brave move to step back and step away. When one of my candles goes out, I have to light another one. Give me a moment. Okay, so this card is a very powerful card, as love is very powerful, and love can make or break us. It can. It can make or break us. Because if we love the wrong person or we love the wrong thing, it could easily, create a situation in us, within us and around us, that's just completely a nightmare, so to speak, really, So I think a lot of you Saggies this month, with this oracle card coming up for you, is saying that a lot of you are going to be either determining who's worthy of your love and who's not. Because I think a lot of you are really starting to realize how worthy you really are. Because I don't think this card would have popped up if some of you weren't really actually either really learning how to love yourself, which is excellent, or who aren't loving themselves and need to be reminded that that's a very important aspect that you cannot neglect. about yourself. You must love yourself, because when you love yourself, you attract people who love you back. That's the law of attraction. You know, when you trust yourself, you attract people who you can trust. When you hate yourself, you attract people who hate you. When you don't like yourself, you attract people who don't like you. Whatever we're internalizing is what we're going to see on the exterior. And we must have a very good relationship with our higher selves. And I'll give you an example as to what your higher self is, just in case you're unable to recognize its voice. Okay? I'll give you an example. I'll give you the same example I gave Aries and Leo. It's so ironic because only the fire signs are getting this particular story. You know, I've been working really hard to make sure that I get your readings out to you, you know, during this Pisces full moon energy time frame, because I want you guys to make sure that you set your intentions with this full moon energy. You have 3 days total. Tomorrow is actually the last day. So the day that this reading came out is the last day that you are able to really set your intentions with regards to what you want to see in your life. And you need to use the words I have and I am when you're setting your intentions. I don't care if you just speak it in your mind, say it out your mouth. Some people actually perform a ritual where they get a book that's never been used, like a journal, and they place their right hand over it, and they say, this is my new moon intention book, where I expect my intentions to come to fruition. Thank you, divine. And then you start numbering, and number one, you know, number one ought to be that you are able to communicate with your higher self, just like you're communicating with me through this reading. And let me help you identify what your higher self's voice is similar to, okay? For me, and I don't know if it's the same for everyone, but if you set the intent, I can likely guarantee you, you will recognize its voice. And the more that you get to know you, I mean the subconscious part of you, and you're able to communicate with your subconscious, it's a powerful thing. And I'm telling you, it really is the key to creating the life that you want for yourself. For me, my higher self, you know, comes in the form of the voice that corrects me. Given that I've been really trying to get your readings to you guys during this full moon energy, I've been going to bed really late, you know, trying to make sure that everybody's reading is done, and make sure that I'm studying and, you know, making sure that the information that is provided is correct and the right amount of meditation is being put in to your readings so that you guys can resonate with them and learn what it is that I'm trying to teach, which in this particular reading, I am going to be teaching you polarization. I'm going to be teaching you the law of attraction. I'm going to be teaching you how to create. All in the span of the 17 minutes that I have left to talk to you in. Because the concept really and truly is that easy. Just like I said, when you love yourself, you attract people who love you. I mean, that's the law of attraction. When you give to other people, then you attract people who give to you. That's the law of attraction. It's real simple. And no, it doesn't like happen overnight. Like, say if you learn to love yourself, you know, completely today, right? It's not like tomorrow, you know, somebody's just going to walk through the door right away, you know, who's ready to love you according to your value, because you finally realized your worth and that you're worthy of loving yourself and other people loving you as well, right? But nonetheless, you definitely can expect it, because when you know your worth, you attract people who know your worth as well. That's the law of attraction. Polarization is important to understand because we all have our polar aspects to ourselves. We could be the best that we can be, and we could be the worst that we can be. And that goes for everybody that we deal with. And everything provokes a response, whether it be negative or positive, right? And that's that polarization that I was talking about. The polar opposite of love is fear. And if that's not balanced, right, and there's more love going on than caution, fear is also another word for cautious, cautious about losing them. If there's too much love and not enough caution, you can love this person to a point where you actually deplete yourself. Love comes with that double-edged sword. And if you are so cautious of losing them and you fear losing them so much and it's not matching up with the amount of love that you have for them, then you can easily become obsessive and you can easily become, it can easily become unhealthy. So make sure that you understand that everything has its polar, opposite. And there has to be that balance in everything. So polarization is how we create, a positive ion and a negative ion create a magnet, something completely different. And when you love yourself enough to spend time with yourself and listen to your higher self, all right, your higher self is the part of you that actually corrects you when you're wrong. You need to listen to that part of yourself. Also praises you when you're right. For me, at least, that's how I communicate with my higher self. For example, I took my son to school this morning. Like I said, I've been going to bed late, trying to make sure I meet deadlines. And, then I had to wake up at 7 o'clock, so I only got 4 hours of sleep. This is like the second night in a row that I only got 4 hours of sleep. And then what happened? I woke up this morning, I was in a bad mood. I was in a funk. I really did not feel like getting in that LA County traffic with people who are so selfish that they will not let you over in the next lane. So to be honest with you, I started my morning off today super pissed because I wasn't in the mood. I wasn't in the mood to be dealing with these people who are like me, racing to a red light, not letting you get over, and they're not going anywhere. It's like it's not going to, them not letting you over is not going to affect them in any way, shape, or form, but they just won't let you over. When you start your day like that, it has the potential to really kind of ruin your day if you let it, And somebody gave me the bird this morning because I gave them the opportunity to be kind to me and let me over, and they didn't. So I got in the lane next to them that was completely open, that was meant to only go that way. But I went ahead and made my left with them, and the person gave me the bird. And the conscious part of me, the flesh part of me, the part that we're more familiar with, wanted to tell my son, roll down the window so I could let this person know what time it is and who they talking to. I got pissed. No, seriously. I have road rage. I have to deal with that. I'm an Aries sun, and when I get pissed, I'm telling you, it just takes me a minute to chill out afterwards. I really got to sit quietly by myself to chill myself out after being in that LA County traffic. And on my way back home, there was a part of myself that was like, that's not how you were supposed to deal with the situation. One way to avoid feeling like this in the morning, with all the chaos associated with all the traffic, is just get up earlier. Get up earlier and designate the time that it takes, to take your child to school and deal with all of the chaos. Expect it. Know that it's there, and just make sure you get up early enough to where you're not rushing to make sure your kid gets to school at a certain time. That was my higher self correcting, the part of me that was just pissed and in a bad mood. Because I just didn't feel like dealing with that traffic. I was tired, and then on top of that, I'm exhausted, and I got to deal with these people who are so selfish they can't even let you over in the next lane. That was my higher self correcting me. And when we don't listen to that part of ourselves, I'm telling you, it's a deal breaker with regards to your ability to create the life that you want for yourself, Sagittarius. So please, love yourself enough to set the intention with this last day, to set your intentions with this full moon energy that you are able to communicate with your higher self every day, all day, just as you are able to communicate with the physical part of yourself and the conscious part of yourself that you have spent most of your time developing through your experiences in life. Okay, that's the part of ourselves that we are more familiar with because that's the part of ourselves that we recognize the most. It's smack dab in our face. We live in a physical world. Okay? And so the way that we create the responses and the lives that we want is when negative situations present themselves to us, we have to respond positively to them. And the more that you know and recognize the voice of your higher self, the more innate and natural the positive responses are to the negative circumstances going on around you, and the more control you have over yourself, your feelings, and your thoughts, and the more control you will have over your external factors. Please also know that whatever is going on within you is going to be a reflection of what's going on in your life. So let's get into your cards real quick, because I don't think it will take long in order for me to be able to see what's going on with all of you, okay? So let's talk. Two of Wands, Knight of Wands, Ten of Cups, Temperance, which is a major arcana, Five of Wands, the Five of Cups. Okay. Look at all that wand energy. Fire signs. Fire signs, Saggies. Look at all that. Look at all those wands. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Look at all that timber, fire. That's what resulted in this, okay? Some of you actually have ended relationships. Some of you have actually attended the funerals of relationships that you know that you've outgrown, period. I'm going to tell you straight up, for those of you who have been in relationships with somebody, even if you have a family with this person, I'm going to have to tell you that I am very proud of you. Let me tell you why, because it's not easy to do. Just because you've stayed with somebody for 15 years doesn't mean that all 15 years were healthy 15 years. Feel liberated. Don't feel sad, okay? Feelings of sadness are optional. You could either feel liberated or you could feel sad. And I understand that feeling sad is a natural response toward, ending a relationship with someone that you may have been with for a while and had children with. And you have all of these wonders and concerns as to how this breakup is affecting the children. And it might be. But you know what? When two people are unhappy in a relationship, the kids feel that too. And so when you're happy, your kids are happy. You understand? Because kids don't like conflict in their home. They feel that energy too, This Knight of Wands energy is just giving me the sense that, whoever you were with was like a get up and go kind of person, like always in and out the door. And it's like you never knew what the hell they were doing, They may not have even been doing anything, but whatever the case is, it just looks to me like they just, they were always actively going somewhere and like never really planting their ass at home and realizing that that's where they belong. To further strengthen the relationship between the two of you and also to help you raise your children together. So I feel as though you, started looking out into the world like, hey, well, what do I need to do about it? Like, this also means like, what do I do about it? Like, do something about it. So I'm like seeing both your energy and their energy together in this reading. And yes, it's going to require healing. That's what temperance means, healing. See these two number 5s right here? Go look up the number 5. Go look up angel number 5. It's the number of change. That's why I said I'm going to give you guys a big hand clap. Bravo. Because you know what? Change is not easy. Change can be difficult for a lot of people. And to take that step and say, you know what? This relationship is just creating conflict because of your get up and go attitude. You know, how in the hell can we have a family if you're never here? You always going somewhere, doing something. Well, what is it that they're doing? Spirit guides and angels. So I'm feeling like, you know, you love this person, but this person was more of like a dictator, more of like, you know, action oriented, and you know, the love was more based on thought rather than love. I feel as though you love this person, which is why you're hurt. If you didn't love them, then it wouldn't invoke pain. This person was more of a thinker. You know, they may have even had an agenda in the relationship. Whatever the case is, you know, you knew that the relationship wasn't healthy and you took that brave move. Please understand that feelings are optional. You can either feel liberated by allowing yourself to exit this relationship because you knew that it just was not working and it created too much conflict in the home because it was a bone of contention between you and whomever it was that you were with. I'm pretty sure that you've communicated with them that you need to stay home and help me with these children. You need to stay home and help contribute to the family, or you need to stay home and, you know, be present. Because this person gets up and goes because they always think about something else outside of the family. And your focus was on love, you know? That's what I'm sensing. You're going to get the healing that you need, so don't doubt that. Please remember that whatever is going on externally is a reflection of what you're feeling on the inside. So if you're conflicted about things internally, you're going to be conflicted externally. You know, situations will present themselves that are full of conflict if you're conflicted about things on the inside. That's why we all have to restructure our thinking, and the only way to really do that properly, okay, and positively is by knowing the voice of our higher self and being able to communicate with it just like I'm talking to you. So if there's any desire that you pray for the most, I ask that it be that you could be able to communicate with your higher self. I mean, immaculately, because when you're able to do that, you know what happens? You respond positively, and the positive responses that you provide to negative circumstances, you know, the better your relationship with yourself, the more innate and natural, and you know exactly which type of positive response to provide to negative situations to create a specific outcome. One that's in your favor, that you have designed. You know, that concept of the magnet, that positive ion and that negative ion that creates a magnet. Creates is the key word. You want to create the life for yourself that you want. So if you're dealing with negative instances, negative relationships, things that actually provoke you to respond negatively, in the beginning, you're going to be on your training wheels with this, and you're just going to respond positively to negative situations. And what that will do is neutralize the situation. It will create neutrality. Nothing will get better, nothing will get worse. Things will just stay the same, and you'll be in the same situation. But once you get really good at knowing who you are, knowing that inner voice, and knowing your subconscious self, that higher self of you, that everlasting, limitless being that you are, once you're able to communicate with that part of yourself, You'll be more methodical with the positive responses that you provide to negative situations, and it creates a specific outcome, the one that you want. That's how you create. And don't forget, whatever you experience on the outside is a reflection of what's going on the inside, okay? So some of you've got that get up and go energy, that always in and out, right? And some of you are conflicted internally about certain things. And so these are things that have to be restructured and dealt with. Please remember, I'm a spiritual guidance counselor. Not only do I, provide you with answers through tarot, I also offer you guidance with regards to how you can manage situations in your life. Okay, the more you're able to manage your feelings and emotions, the more you're able to manage your exterior circumstances. If any of this resonated with any of you, I ask that you hit like and subscribe and leave your comments. Given that we're running out of time, I've got to go, but I will tell you, set your intentions, and I will talk to you soon.